Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Melaku. He's just put out his newest single titled Still Within, and I'm super excited to talk to him about it. Malaku, thank you so much for making it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm at my house in Santa Cruz, California. So
Oh,
that's,
sweet. I love
yeah,
Santa Cruz, one of my favorite places to visit in California.
yeah, for sure. I grew up here and ended up back here. So pretty blessed.
Awesome. Cool. Well, obviously, I want to spend this time talking all about this single.
Mhm.
It is great, and by the time this comes out, it will be out in the world, ready for people to listen.
Yep.
So to start, the song clearly centers around some pretty hard-hitting lyrics. I'd love for you to sort of break down the message of the song a bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a couple layers to the song, but really it's about this universal struggle with challenge. We all have challenge and suffering. I initially wrote the song actually a little while back, thinking about a friend of mine that had gone through some sort of challenging experiences that caused him to open his heart and think about life in a different way instead of really coming from the head, more coming from a spiritual perspective and finding sort of, you know, moving from, there's no point in like meditation or anything like that to like, oh, actually, this is like a helpful thing. And
Okay.
so that's really the some of the background of the song, but obviously there's more there.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. Awesome. The production on the song is pretty amazing as well. Everything is super clear and vibrant, and just the whole like vibe of the song feels very positive for the most part.
thank
I'd
you.
love to know, did you have a hand in the production, or did you have any outside help putting it all together?
Yeah, I mean, this one, like most of my tracks, I produced it myself.
Nice.
So
Okay.
pretty much played all the instruments. I mean, I did it actually in this room. So
The home
uh,
studio.
yeah, this electronic drum kit and guitars and did the vocals. My my girl Rachel did the backing vocals
Okay.
and a little bit of like there's some like vocal effects that you can hear in the background
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
are like us just like singing random melodies and then just messing with the production and turning it into like an effect. So, but that's really I think the only other well, there was like a demo version that I did with a producer friend of mine.
Sure.
I'm just like the acoustic version, but we didn't end up working on the production. So this really was like a in-house job.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. I mean, it's fun to keep it in house. Plus, you get to learn. You get to learn the ins and outs of production. You're always sort of bettering yourself and
Oh my
finding out
God.
new tips and tricks.
It's seriously so wild, like how much you learn even after you're like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know how a compressor works. And then it's like, oh, I didn't
Oh,
even
you know
realize.
nothing. You know nothing.
So I probably still know nothing, but it's like, I've been recording since I was 12 or 13. So
Sure.
it's cool to like still have things to learn and also to progress every year.
Yeah. Are you sort of just like adding bits and pieces to the studio, or is this something that you're like, all right, pandemic time, gonna put this together so I can just do it here?
Oh no, well I actually a lot of this stuff was at my previous studio, which was
Oh, awesome.
one where I was like really having clients and stuff. So yeah, I've had some experience as a producer and mixing and mastering, and then before that, quite a bit of experience as a writer too.
Nice,
So
man.
all that experience definitely like came together in this song, and just also trying to merge the different genres that I love into my own unique style that sounds just like me and no one
Totally
else.
reasonable. Yeah, man. Well,
Yeah.
that's the goal. Kind of
Mhm.
like, obviously you're going to have your influences, you're going to have the people that you listen to, but carving out your own path and niches, that's the ultimate goal right there.
Yeah. So what did you get from the song personally? You seem like you were touched by it.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the lyricism. I enjoyed the way that it made me feel at the end of it. I felt very like sense of positivity. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
There's not
totally,
enough
man.
positivity in this world right now.
Yeah.
So listening to music that genuinely makes you feel good is
Hmm.
music that I plan on listening to. And it's really going to make me deep dive into the rest of the music.
Yeah.
Actually brings my next point here is I want to talk, I want to focus on the song, but I want to look towards the future too. Are
Hmm.
you always creating? Are you always having songs in the bank that are ready for the future, or do you work on one song at a time?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like full songs that are ready or like waiting to be produced or waiting to be whatever, but there's even more just like ideas. And I think that's how most artists are, is like we have so many ideas, and then the best ones or our favorite ones, or maybe just the ones that we like give time to become like
Sure.
the songs that we put out. But yeah, I feel like, well, this song is part of an EP that I've had sort of in the background for a while, so I'm excited to put that
Okay.
all together.
Would you consider this to be like the lead single, or is there
Yeah,
no like?
this is the lead single. It's the first
Okay,
single from it.
sweet.
So I don't have a date for that yet, but
All right.
I have another single that's actually kind of like uh in a similar vibe. So my first album, and through this, I've been going on this theme of spiritual pop. So
Okay.
making pop music that is not like overly spiritual, but still has like that uplifting quality, and isn't like,
Exactly.
and isn't going to those more like base emotions. Like even if it is, it still has something in there that's like teaching you something. If it's sad, then it's a little bit universal. If it's like sexy, then it's like there's something that's like wholesome about it.
Sure.
So it's almost like I'm kind of um like a teeter totter, or whatever you want to call it, or tightrope walker.
Sure. I
Um
mean, yeah, you're that's the thing with music these days is everyone's messing around with a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? In
yeah,
terms of genre and sound, but you got to play around. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into one thing and, go down that road.
exactly.
You always
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be experimenting.
Yeah, so I want to hopefully do that the rest of my life.
Yeah, man.
I definitely look to other artists, like, that can reinvent themselves over and over again, especially artists like Bowie, or things like that. I mean,
Of
he was an
course.
extreme, but
Yeah, that's yeah, far end for sure.
yeah, but it's a cool idea to have that progression.
Definitely. I mean, I'd love to hear about more of your musical inspirations and who kind of, pushed you in the direction of making your own music.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of like Motown.
Sure.
I was just really into that, and then a lot of classic rock, and just in the 50s, 60s, like rock and pop were kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
There
Oh yeah.
wasn't really that distinction that there is now. And so just a lot of that music. Chuck Berry was probably the first songs that I ever learned, were like Chuck Berry and Bob Marley, and like Down by the Riverside, and
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're raised on the good stuff.
yeah, so a lot of that was my mom's influence.
Hmm.
She she plays guitar and still teaches actually African drumming. She's white, my dad's black.
Okay.
And then there's my dad's. I think my dad was sort of in a band in Ethiopia, but
Oh wow. Okay.
not really.
Sure.
But a lot of my family's musical, so yeah, it's always been there. But there's definitely been that whole struggle of like, you know, this society or whatever doesn't really encourage artists to be
Sure.
just artists. And I think that a lot of people that have artistic inclinations have to really like come to terms with trusting themselves, and not people outside them or society outside of them. So even part of this EP and this song is about not looking to the outside world for happiness or for fulfillment, and like looking within for that, and for power as well.
Totally. Totally. You said that you started making music around 12 or 13 or so.
No, that's when I
So,
started recording. Yeah, like
so you started recording. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I want to know, sort of going off the same question, was there a specific album in your life that you listened to that had such a serious feeling, or such a, I guess, like such an influence that you're like, I want to make something on my own? What was the turning point in that process for you?
Like at that age, what albums I
Yeah.
was listening to? Mm, I think it would probably be either the Temptations, their greatest hits, or Marley Legend, because that was the stuff
Totally.
I would listen to, that stuff all the time. And especially like Motown, I'd always do covers, playing old instruments. Like
Okay.
I've been kind of doing this forever.
Yeah.
Um which is funny. Like playing the drums and the guitar and the bass, and
Totally.
so I still have those. Actually, some of those recordings are still on my Bandcamp.
Oh hell yeah. Okay, I'll definitely go check that out then.
Yeah, so I have like stuff that goes way back on Bandcamp, which is kind of fun.
Nice. So you're definitely a multi-instrumentalist, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, basically just guitar, bass, and drums. I mean, I can mess around on
Sure.
keyboard a little bit, but I mean, for production, I can mess around on
You can make
keyboard,
it
but
work. No, that's
in a
perfect.
live setting, I don't know.
That's perfect because I really want to know your process of, I guess, starting a song completely. What does it start with? Is it the instrument that you're most competent on, or does it start with a
Definitely.
lyric? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really it really does depend, but I almost always write on guitar,
Okay.
generally acoustic guitar, and I generally write uh, like I generally have some sort of feeling, but and I might have a motif in my head,
Sure.
but usually I'm melody first. So
Okay.
like it'll be especially like something for a chorus. I'm a chorus guy. Like I just like choruses to
Yeah.
be a certain way. But a lot of it just, I mean, I think the best songs just sort of happen naturally. They come from somewhere else. Like it's like I'm a channel and I just open up and the songs come through.
It's totally
Is
reasonable.
so it's they kind of so it's kind of like a natural process for the songs that are the easiest, and a lot of them can come through like freestyling. Um,
Got it.
so even if there aren't words that really make sense, there are some words in there that you kind of pick out and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But yeah, generally on guitar and melody first.
Nice. All right. So listen, man, you've been doing this for quite a while now. It feels like it goes beyond. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I would assume more than half your life.
Yeah.
So I want to know, is there a single thing that you enjoy the most about being an artist and a creative as a whole?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things, but I think it's mainly the feeling.
Okay.
So there's one feeling that I can think of, like when you really drop in when you're performing and you connect with yourself or the audience or someone or the song or a lyric, and you go somewhere that isn't really this world, and
Sure.
and after that you have this like feeling of whoa, like that was different. And
Yeah.
especially when the listener can feel that and their emotions can change and they go through something, I think that's a really like profound thing, and it's something that I'm learning to be more grateful for as time goes on, instead of it just being like, well, I'm just doing the song or whatever. It's like, no, this is like a exchange of energy, which is like
Right.
a beautiful thing.
Totally. No,
So
it's more than just listening. It's a true experience. And
mhm.
I think that there's so many outside things, whether it be video games or TV or movies that capture people's attention.
Yeah,
You creating something that came from your brain and then you're playing it to people, like that has to be the most just genuine feeling,
it
actually
is. Yeah.
experiencing that.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the second thing that I love about music, which is sort of what it does for, I feel, my own like well-being, honestly.
Right.
And I don't know how true this is for other creators, but I know at least quite a few that feel the same way, where it's like if we're not doing our art, everything in our life doesn't go well. Like
Totally.
I can think of so many times where me just, even if it's something random, like I'm not even playing some great show, it's just like something random,
Yeah.
but I'm going for it. Like something great happens. I get the date that turns into the girlfriend. I meet the manager. Uh or even like I just start feeling better. And so it's like that's the other thing I love about music, is that like when I'm actually going for the art and doing it, these magical things just happen and it's like whoa, whoa. And to me that's like the sign, oh, keep going. And not to say that I've always
Totally.
followed that sign, but it's pretty obvious when I can like look back over like
Right.
however many years I've been doing it and like, oh, like that definitely, I definitely should keep doing this.
Well, yeah, it's all connected, or it
Yeah.
feels like it, but it also, yeah, it gives you that kind of oomph to keep
Mhm.
going and do your thing. And if it's going to make you happy, there's so few things these days that genuinely make people happy. So
Yeah, yeah,
keep on it, keep on it.
yeah,
Is there
yeah.
something that you feel that your music says about you as a whole?
Um, yeah, I think that it says number one that I'm tapped into, something spiritual.
Sure.
Number two, that I sort of can walk that tightrope in terms of genre, I think, and also in terms of just like messaging. I want to be someone that people can trust. Like
Totally.
if like, all right, like I'm listening to Melaku and my kids can listen to it too. Like it doesn't really matter. It's not
Right.
that I'm trying to appeal to every audience, but
No.
I think it's a more, I think I've always felt since I was a very young person, like a moral obligation to do what's right. And so I think that that's a big part of my music, is that I'm always conscious of what I'm saying.
Okay.
And so I think that that's what maybe comes through. And I think also just the uplifting thing of like, there's always that thing of like transcendence.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. That was a great answer.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, there's no right answers here. There's
Yeah,
no rules
exactly.
here. But yeah, I fully get what you're saying.
Okay.
It's music is transcendent in a way, and there's very few people I feel that listen to music as a whole. You know what I mean? It's more like as long as it makes you feel a certain way, then you can enjoy it. So
Yeah, yeah.
speaking of, feeling the music, is there any plan for you to get out there and start playing local shows once you continue to like release a CP? Is that in the works?
Yeah, for sure. We've been talking to some venues and playing smaller things,
Okay.
like house concerts and things like that. So
Totally.
that's definitely in the works. And so there will be, announcements on socials and everything like that.
Hell yeah. I know there's some pretty solid venues in Santa Cruz that are in
Honestly,
good spots.
the music scene here is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking, let's say you book a show and the venue manager is like, all right, Melaku, we're super excited to have you, but can only play one song. Is
Mhm.
there a song in your discography, either past, present, or future, that you're going to pick out to really wow the crowd?
Honestly, it kind of depends on like the energy of the night.
Sure.
Whether it's like a sit down show or a like people want to dance, I would pick a different song. But
Okay.
honestly,
Okay.
honestly, I do think that this song generally is, I've played it many times live, Still Within,
Sure.
and it's for some reason people of all different cultures and ages have liked it, and so I honestly might pick that. Not even because I'm promoting the song.
No.
Swear to God,
I
like
get it.
it's
I
just,
get it.
yeah, it's just kind of a song that I might be like, yeah, maybe I'll play Still Within.
No, I really do think it sort of checks all those boxes
Yeah,
where
yeah, it
you
does.
could sit back and relax and chill to it, or you could get up and move like it's whatever you're feeling.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
really do get the spiritualness feeling that comes across in your music. It's very, I don't think it's in your face, but I think
Yeah,
it's definitely there in the background and you
yeah,
can get it off first listen. So
yeah.
believe me, I know obviously you're promoting the song, that's why we're talking, but at the same time, not a bad choice. I would be up and grooving to it for sure.
Oh, cool,
So,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
man.
awesome.
Going through all of the artists I suppose you've ever listened to or ever wanted to work with, is there one that stands out that you would want to bring on for a dream collaboration for your music?
I mean, the one that sort of immediately comes to mind is ZZ Ward. I'm not sure if you know
Okay.
about
Yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
Just because she's not exactly my style. She's definitely darker,
Sure.
and more blues, but it still is that retro pop thing where there's these incorporated elements. And so I've even thought about, like reaching out to her team, but
Okay.
at this stage, her producers are out of my budget. Um,
Yeah, that
but
tends to happen. Occasionally, yeah. I
yeah,
feel you.
yeah, like very, I was like,
Totally.
wow, amazing.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you
Um,
later.
but that's nowhere near like what like Beyonce's producers make. Like these numbers get really crazy. I don't know if you've looked into that stuff. It's
I would
like,
love. I would love to know. Please
yeah,
share if
so
you'd like.
yeah, so like I'm pretty sure that like a couple of Beyonce's producers make like 100 grand an hour.
And that doesn't even guarantee anything.
Like
That
that's
doesn't
like an
guarantee
hour.
a finished song,
No,
right?
but what I love about that is I always think about like what I could get done in an hour. I'm like, all right, like I could drop
Yeah.
like a couple of kicks and snares, like do a couple of guitar
Hour?
things, like an idea, and then it's like
Wow.
maybe at that, it's like maybe a one guitar track and like a kick and a snare. It's like, thanks for
Yeah.
thanks for the 100K there.
Don't tell
I
me
don't know.
those producers aren't sandbagging it for an hour. Just like, oh, maybe I'll hop into the second hour and I'll
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how that works. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Let's just say allegedly.
Allegedly. Obviously, those are
Yeah.
not confirmed numbers,
No,
but
no.
I mean, that's
But isn't that kind of a
yeah,
fun number? It's like you think
it
about
is a
any
fun
job.
number.
you think about any job and you go, wait, what? But
Yeah,
I do like that that's still available in music, and I think that if we can democratize this business a little bit,
sure.
it's like, hey, spread it out, and I would love to see this business change, especially like with the blockchain and things
Right,
like that,
right.
and just get more transparent and just see what happens.
Totally.
Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
innovation happening right now.
Tons happening. I
Tons.
mean, yeah, we're seeing all different sorts of different, I mean, music releases for one. It's not
Hmm.
as simple as it used to be. You got to do it in 25 different ways just to get your name heard. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, yeah, it's, I say it all the time. It's never been easier to make music, but it's also never been harder to get your name heard just
Hmm.
because everyone, not that everyone feels entitled to it, but it's just like all you need to do is, start a garage band and or GarageBand, like even the app, and make it yourself, and you can have a Spotify account in an hour, and like it's that simple.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why I kind of over the years I'm like, I'm only gonna do like real instrument based music for the most part,
Totally. I
because
mean,
it's
and
like,
I respect that. That's the type of music that I like to listen to.
uh
It's not that I don't like electronic
yeah, no,
music, but
same.
it's just like
I
I
just
don't
felt like there
know.
would always be someone better than me at that. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I can make a pretty cool beat, but it's like, am I really like a beat maker? But I can write a song. I know I
I
can
don't
do
know. If
songs.
you have $100,000, you can get a pretty sweet producer to help you out.
Get a
So,
sweet beat. It's not too much, just 100,
it's
just an
cool,
hour,
man.
but that's
You'll
not
make
even a,
it. You'll
yeah,
make it on the streams.
yeah. Well, I
There you go.
may that be small change for both of us.
Hey, you know what? I'm crossing my fingers. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I want to know, we are officially halfway through this year, which is
Mhm.
wild.
I
So
know.
yeah, so aside from the music, are there any personal goals that you've set for yourself for the rest of this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things business wise that I'm looking into. I definitely want to, because I have my own little record label, Angelian Records.
Nice.
And so I had a studio before, and so I've been getting some calls from people, and just the universe sort of being like, hey, maybe you want to do another studio. So I'm thinking about that in the next, half of this year, restarting
Okay.
that studio. So start bringing in clients and just
Dude, hell
involve
yeah.
involve the community here, because there's so much talent in Santa Cruz.
Totally.
And so just not being able to tap into that in the same way that I was a few months ago, with the studio that I was running. So
Sure.
thinking about doing that. Um, I guess it is somewhat music related, but just getting more of my merch and just all that stuff printed so that I
Sure,
can,
sure.
so that as I like go into live shows, um, and I think just taking time to not think about goals and be in nature and spend time with friends, and just be grateful for the little things,
Yeah, man.
while I'm chasing the bigger thing. So
That's
that
amazing. You
yeah,
really
yeah.
do need to take a step back every once in a
You
while.
have to, yeah.
I mean, sure, taking baby steps to get here and there is great, but also you being like literally in the forest, basically, is not a bad
Close
place
enough.
to lose your mind for a little bit.
Yeah.
Go do your thing. I don't
So
blame you.
yeah, there's always a good side to losing it.
I agree. You come back, you'll be more motivated, and it'll just be better for your head in the long run.
Totally. I mean, when I first started like going through my spiritual path, the first thing that really blew my mind, because I was like totally type A, Ivy League, like the whole
Sure,
thing,
sure.
was I was listening to an interview with Oprah and Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you know Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was like, and then I had no thoughts. And I was like, what? Because
Tell me
all
more.
I ever remember was thoughts,
Yeah,
like, woo.
it's always
And so
swirling around.
that's another one of the goals, just consistently be able to turn it off, not always be thinking about whatever.
Damn, I love that. I'll have to check out that interview for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know where it's from,
Okay.
but it was like on some.
Yeah,
I was just
you can
listening
find
to
anything.
Pandora, and it was an advertisement, and I was just like, "Whoa!" It completely blew my mind. It changed my life. I think that one.
Damn.
That's funny that an advertisement can change your life, but I guess if it's like for Eckhart Tolle, then maybe.
I guess so. I guess so. All right. Well, I'm ready to change my life then. I'm
Yeah, let's
checking
do
out
it.
after this. Let's do it. All right. All right, man.
Love it.
I have one more question for you at this point.
Yeah.
It's something that I like to close it out with. So, for the person that is going to discover your music for the first time, and for the person that is going to kind of dig into your discography, what is a message that you would like to pass off to them as they dive into your world?
Hmm. I think the message is that this is a deep question, man. I think the message is that the music is painting a vibration of a world that we can co-create that works for all of us. And it's also a representation of like a human being following their exact vision for their own life and for the collective.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a strange answer, but that's kind of the best way I can put it.
I've heard all the answers and I love everyone. It doesn't matter. You've convinced me. I'm in. I'm going to keep listening, and I
Okay.
urge everyone else to listen as well.
Yeah.
Malaku, I cannot thank you enough for coming on and
Yeah. Thanks
having
so
this
much for
great
having me.
conversation. For everyone else out there, Still Within is out. Listen to it, stream it, share it with your friends, and follow along for more because it sounds like more is on the way.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Dude, you're so welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will talk soon.
Thanks, Austin. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
man. Take care.
All right. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.